Hello and welcome. My name is Tumitladi and I tutor and I mentor anyone who wants to learn programming or developing mobile apps, software apps or web applications. And today we're going to take a look at a web application, but a different kind of a web application. I call it web API. Some people call it RESTful service. Other people call it a backend, right? So this is .NET Core web API. There's a video that I made where we talked about the importance of program.cs class, right? So this class, and we're talking about all the services that will be registered via the installer. It's something that someone taught me the importance of it, so please do check that video out, right? But I want us to talk about one specific installer or a service via install, which is Swagger, this guy, right? So before we come here, Swagger for development, notice there's an if condition. If the app and the environment of the app is a development, then we can talk about Swagger, enable Swagger UI, and that's what I want to show you. How is this important? And then with this line of code, just rest assured it will not be accessible in production because this is development. But Swagger, it's a very powerful little piece of a tool that you can use to visualize your endpoints on the API, right? So for example, let me quickly fire this project and we'll talk more about it. Let me go to API and let me just hit fire. So you can version your web API. Like for example, this one, it's using version number 1. While it's loading, let's look at Swagger, what Swagger is. So Swagger is a suite of tools for API developers, you see, from Smart Bear software. Okay, but this is what I want. What is Swagger? That's just a high level overview. Swagger is an open source set of rules, specifications and tools for developing and describing RESTful APIs. Do you understand? The Swagger framework allows developers to create interactive machine and human readable API documentation, and that's enough for me, and that's it. So this is me firing it and I'm in development. So I'm just going to go to Swagger index, and this is what I get, right? And I just want to close all these guys and talk about them. What is this document about? What do you see here? Okay, perfect. So this is Swagger, right? Like I was saying, this is a version 1. It tells us that there's a specific a way of visualizing our RESTful APIs. We are doing it in version 1, but I went ahead to have a version 2 also, and we'll talk about the versioning of the web API. But it's very important to understand that you need to version your web API. But for now, there's a document that I'm gonna use, and it's a document that I use to visualize how my RESTful APIs are. Do you understand? For example, let's start with something basic. Login. Note all of them are saying login underscore v1, and we'll talk about versioning. I'll make a video some other time where I give you more insights into web API. So for example, these are the things that the actions we can perform under login for version 1. You know, so there's a post, and then there's another one, the API that says trials and subscription, but this I will expect an API key. So you see, it tells you that, oh, in order for you to send the data, which is a post, this expects API key, right? But if you want to get the user, you're gonna have to pass in user ID. So it gives you that idea, right? If you want to get a trial, you're gonna have to pass the user ID for you to get information based on the user. If you want to get a subscription, you're gonna have to give it a user ID. But if I go deeper, let's say for login, right, it tells me the request body. This will be an example of what will be sent when I click execute, right? And then this will be the response, right? So the response here, we're expecting success, which is code 200, or we're expecting bad request, which is 400. But in some cases, I'm also expecting 401, which is unauthorized, right? So if it's success, it's going to return something, which that's what we want. But all of that will be formulated in JSON format, right? You can have other media type that you want to use as a response or as a request, but for me, I'm gonna leave it as a JSON, right? To say if it becomes success, you're gonna get back the token, access token, you're gonna get back the user ID, you're also gonna get the error if there's any, but there's a reason why, right? But if it's a bad request, you're also gonna get it in a way that it's going to tell you. So this will be null, but there's going to be an error. Let's make an example. Should we make an example? Let's see. But one of the things is that you need to say try out. Like I said, I can go the whole day and talk about the Swagger because it's just a powerful thing, right? Let's just remove the at right there, and let me hit execute. Let's see. So it returns what? Bad request, and that's exactly what I want to show you. It returns bad request to say the email field is not a valid email address. You saw that I removed the @ sign, right? Because I have a fluent validation that's able to take care of that, of which it is registered under MVC. And there we go. This line, I'm adding fluent. I can teach you all this. Listen, only for 25 Rand, we can have these sessions. I'll take the full hour, explain every single line, and show you how all this is coming together. This is just the tip of the iceberg, what you see here. This is a powerful thing, especially for my system web API. I'm making use of this. Like I said, we'll talk about versioning in the later videos. 25 Rand per session. Weekdays, Monday to Friday, 8 p.m. until 9 p.m. If you book and schedule 4 sessions, I'll give you additional free session and make it 5 sessions in total. If that sounds good, I'll leave my numbers. Holler at me.